Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. So in this video, we are going to look at the concept of biochemistry. So what is biochemistry? Biochemistry is the study of chemical processes. It's the study of chemical processes in the body of living organisms. So biochemistry is one of the branch of science or branch of biology that deals with the study of chemical processes that are taking place in the body of living organism. And of course, when we said chemical processes, it associates with the reactions that are taking place in the body of living organism. And this chemical reaction always we are dealing with, of course, remember from the basic concept of chemistry, we always deals with the reactants. And of course, reactant will always give us products. So the study of the chemical processes that are occurring in the body of a living organisms is what we call biochemistry. And these chemical processes is like a normal chemical reactions that are taking place in the body of a living organism. And this chemical reaction is associated with the conversion of reactant to product. So, but one thing that I want you to understand, any chemical process that occur in the body of living organisms, it require an enzyme. It require an enzyme. And therefore, one very interesting things in biochemistry, you need to understand that the reactant that we are talking about is biomolecules. We call them biomolecules. Biomolecules. Why are they called biomolecules? The biomolecules are the molecules that are found in the body of a living organisms, like in humans, in any other animals, in bacteria. So it is actually a biomolecules. So in chemical or in the body of living organisms, both the reactant and the product are biomolecules. But generally in biochemistry, the reactant, we call them substrates. Substrates. As I'm talking now, as I am talking now, is because of the chemical reactions that are taking place in my body. So everything that we do is as a result of the chemical reaction. So that is why whenever we are dealing with the study of biochemistry, we need to understand the molecules themselves. So that is why in this course that you are doing, it is actually chemistry of macromolecules. So it is one of the branch, or sorry, is one of the branch of biochemistry, or is one of the area of biochemistry that trying to study the entire biomolecules that are found in the body of a living organism. So in a simple term, ladies and gentlemen, when we said biochemistry, it is actually trying to understand life using the molecules that are found in the body of a living organism. And these molecules are the ones that undergo chemical processes. So the study of these chemical processes that are occurring in the body of a living organisms is what we call biochemistry. And you cannot understand these chemical processes without understanding the biomolecules. And these major biomolecules that are found in the body of living organisms, we have many of them. Examples of these biomolecules, we have carbohydrates. We have carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is an example of biomolecules that are found in humans. And apart from carbohydrate, we have proteins. Proteins. Then apart from proteins, we also have lipids. Apart from lipids, we also have nucleic acids. We have nucleic acids. This nucleic acid include DNA and RNA. And of course, when we said proteins, proteins can be enzymes, can be hormones, it can be neurotransmitters, neurotransmitters, neurotransmitters. So these are the examples of biomolecules that are associated with the study of the chemical processes that are taking place in the body of a living organism. So I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, in biochemistry, we are actually trying to study. So in biochemistry, the we are trying to study living organisms using molecules. And then the next thing that I want you to understand, apart from this concept of biochemistry, we also have medical, although before we start talking about medical biochemistry, so apart from biochemistry, if you really want to understand life, ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand biochemistry, because biochemistry is just trying to study life using biomolecules. And of course, if you look at biochemistry, it will actually associate with the other medical sciences like anatomy, like physiology. But I want you to understand something. What is anatomy? Anatomy is actually a branch of science also that trying to study the internal structure of the body of a living organism. It's trying to study the internal structure of the body of living organism. And then we have physiology. Physiology is trying to study the functions of various parts of the body of living organism, of the body of living organism. But I want you to understand something very important. What determines the internal structure of a living organism? What makes the brain the way it is? What makes the liver the way it is? What makes the pancreas the way it is because of these biomolecules. So metabolite, or these biomolecules, you can call them either metabolites, or biomolecules. They are substances that determines the structure of the body of a living organism, as well as the functions of the body of a living organism. Like, for example, the biochemistry of a liver is different from the biochemistry of the kidney, and the biochemistry of the pancreas is different from the biochemistry of the brain. And what are those biochemistry? Is the metabolites. So because the metabolites that are found in the kidney are different from the metabolites that are found in the liver, that is why they are different. They have different structure and they have different functions. So I want you to understand metabolite is what determines the internal structure of an organ, sorry, of the body of a living organisms, and it's also what determines the physiology of the various organs that are found in the body of a living organism. Then, apart from this introduction to biochemistry, then the next thing we are going to look at the different branches of biochemistry without wasting much of our time. So now, what are the branches of biochemistry? So number one, branches of biochemistry. Number one, we have toxicology. Okay, let me start with medical biochemistry. So what is medical biochemistry? Medical biochemistry is a branch of chemistry that associates with the study of chemical processes. It deals with the study of chemical processes in health and diseases. So that is medical biochemistry. So it is actually a branch of biochemistry that trying to study the chemical processes that are related in order that is actually associated with the health and diseases. And these chemical processes that are actually found in biochemistry, they are sorry in medical biochemistry, they are actually important in drug development. You can use the chemical processes in health and diseases in drug discovery, that is to discover new drugs. And you can also use these chemical processes in medical biochemistry in disease diagnosis, to diagnose disease disease in disease diagnosis. And also you can use these chemical processes in disease treatment. You can explore these chemical processes that are associated with health and diseases in disease treatment. In disease, so you can actually use these chemical processes in disease treatment, disease diagnosis, and drug discovery. So these are some of the application of biochemistry in medical sciences or in nursing, in medicine, in pharmacy. So these are some of the applications of biochemistry in the area of medicine, including nursing, pharmacy, veterinary medicine, and the rest. So the next thing after medical biochemistry, ladies and gentlemen, is toxicology, which is also another branch of biochemistry. Toxicology, which is number two. So what is toxicology? Toxicology is the study of adverse effects. It's the study of adverse effects. It's the study of adverse effects of toxic of toxic or foreign, is the study of toxic or foreign substances in the body of a living organism or in the living organisms. Is the study of toxic or foreign substances in the living organism. So that is what we call toxicology, ladies and gentlemen. So as we can see, in toxicology, it is associated with the study of toxic or foreign substances. Like drugs is a foreign substance. So if you are trying to study the adverse effect of a toxic substances or foreign substances in the body of living organism, it means that you are studying toxicology. Like generally, we know that drugs is associated with the um, actually associated with um, most of the drugs are toxic because as long as you take the drugs and as much as they stay in your body without eliminating them, they will cause problem in your body. So they will cause adverse effect. So when you are trying to study the adverse effect of toxic or foreign substances in the body, that is actually what you call toxicology. Then apart from medical biochemistry and toxicology, another branch of biochemistry that we are going to look at is number three is enzymology. Enzymology, which is number three. So what is enzymology? Enzymology, of course, as we can see, is the study of enzymes, is the study of enzymes, their functions, deficiency, and consequences, of their deficiency. So this is very important. enzymology, as I said, is also another branch of biochemistry that deals with the study of enzymes. And what is enzymes? Enzymes are chemical substances. Mostly they are proteins in nature that speed the rate of the reaction. Like for example, if A and B will combine to produce D as a product. So these are our substrates. So we have two substrates here. So our substrates here are A and B, and this is our product. So what is the importance of enzymes? If these reactions can take, let's say, 30 days without enzymes, if these reactions can take 30 days to reach completion without an enzymes, with the enzymes, it will speed up the rate of the chemical reaction. So instead of taking 30 days, it will end up of maybe taking 20 minutes. So you see, from 30 minutes, from 30 days, it is now from 30 days is now decreased to 20 minutes. So what does that mean? It means that in the presence of these enzymes, the rate of the reaction is increased. So therefore, the importance of enzymes is to speed the rate of the reaction. If the reaction is meant to take, let's say, 100 days without enzymes, so with an enzymes, it will occur in seconds. So that is what we mean by enzymology. And in addition, how these enzymes speed the rate of the reaction is by decreasing activation energy. So it's increase the rate of the reaction by decreasing activation energy. So when we are trying to study enzymology, we try to study the functions of the enzymes, their deficiency, as well as the consequences. It has been demonstrated a lot of the diseases occur in the body of a living organisms due to enzymes deficiency. And if there is any enzyme deficiency, like an inborn error of metabolism, we have so many of them. There are diseases that are occur in the body of a living organisms due to deficiency of an enzyme. So some of these enzymes, they are associated with a lot of complications. So in enzymology, when you are trying to study the functions, the deficiency as well as the consequences caused by the deficiency of the enzymes is what you call enzymology. So this is actually the third branch of biochemistry, and the enzymes decrease the activation energy. That is how it increases the rates of the reaction. So the next branch of biochemistry after enzymology is molecular biology. Is molecular biology. So what is molecular biology? Molecular biology is a branch of biology that deals with the study, is a branch of biochemistry that deals with the study of informational macromolecules. So this is branch of biochemistry that trying to study informational macromolecules. And when we said informational macromolecules, it includes DNA, RNA, and protein. So these are the informational macromolecules. So the study of informational macromolecules, as well as the processes that occur in the conversion of one informational macromolecules, is called molecular biology. Like for example, DNA convert itself into another molecule of DNA, and the process is called replication. Replication. So when the DNA convert itself to RNA, the process is called translation. Is called translation. And then when RNA is converted into protein, the sorry, DNA to RNA is transcription. Transcription. And then when we have RNA to protein, the process is called translation. So this is actually molecular biology. So the next branch of biochemistry apart from molecular biology is biotechnology. Biotechnology, as you can see, this is technology. So technology in biology. So when we said biotechnology, it is actually a branch of biochemistry that uses cell or part of cells. It uses cell or part of a cells to produce a product that are beneficial to humans. So that is what you call biotechnology. So in the case of biotechnology, is a branch of biochemistry that uses the entire cell or part of the cell to produce a product that are beneficial to humans. So you use a part of cells, like maybe you can use mitochondria, you can use the entire cell to produce a product that is of beneficial to human. So that is what you call biotechnology, like production of insulin. Insulin, you know that we have insulin injection. So we produce this insulin through biotechnology tools, and then of course we can produce recombinant. Apart from insulin, we can produce recombinant adrenaline. That is why we have adrenaline injection. So all these are the examples of biotechnological products that are of beneficials to humans. So apart from this, um, molecular biology. So the next one we have lipid and carbohydrate chemistry. Lipid and carbohydrate chemistry. So lipids and carbohydrate chemistry, or lipid and carbohydrate biochemistry. So what is lipid and carbohydrate chemistry? So it is actually a field of biochemical basis of metabolic disorders. So it is actually a branch of biochemistry that deals with the study of biochemical basis. It deals with the study of biochemical basis. It deals with the study of biochemical basis of diseases. Biochemical basis of metabolic disorders. Metabolic disorders. Disorders such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cardio, cardiovascular diseases. So these are actually, and of course, obesity. All are examples of um, metabolic disorders. So when you are trying to study the biochemical basis of metabolic disorders such as diabetes and cardiovascular disease, that is what you call lipid and carbohydrate biochemistry. So ladies and gentlemen, this is why I'm going to stop. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and join to my YouTube community for more videos.